Well, I mean, I think so. I don't think the headline number as much matters because everyone expected that we'd probably see a negative year-over-year earnings number. Really tough comparisons. Obviously, global economy in slowing mode, but a large percentage, at least what I calculated in the first 2 days of the week, we had 80% of companies beating on the earnings side. And I think it is, though, you talked about Japan coming back. That's not because Japan's economy is doing great right this second. I think a lot of that is the markets are moving ahead and really signaling at least that the economy is starting to pick up some steam, maybe an overstatement, but at least stabilize and perhaps, get a bit of a turn. Again, that's what it's signaling. We'll see if it plays out that way.
The question, Bill, that I get out there in the real world at airports and on the streets, from our loyal CNBC viewers, and I'm sure you get it the same, is, gosh, what's it going to take to move this market? We've got trade, we've got Brexit, we've got earnings, and yet nothing seems to impact the overall markets that much. Why is that?
I mean, I think it's because we still have a good earnings. If you really get down to it, earnings are what really matters in the long run. Yes, like I said, it's a little bit of a tough year-over-year comparisons for earnings. But if you're looking for some sort of, return in a very low interest rate environment, I think it still is the place to be, despite all those things out there. And we've seen, some positive move. Unfortunately, I can't put any to bed, right? We think we're in a good space on Brexit, but you nor I can tell you for sure whether we'll get there. But we think the odds are less that it's a no-deal Brexit. Can't tell you much more than that. And on the trade front, we've obviously, well, maybe not so obviously, but we think we're at phase one. We haven't signed the deal yet, but we have moved in a better direction. And I think central banks have obviously, we all know, they have gotten involved. Rates are lower. So, I think that's what you're seeing is the markets playing the reflation trade because you're seeing some better news out of the more cyclical companies.
And the market seems to be saying, Bill, that there is no U.S. economic recession on the near-term horizon. Would you agree with that?
I agree, and I think I've been on talking to you a number of times saying people were overreacting to even the numbers we saw. We really never saw a high percentage chance of a recession here in the short order, and that's even receded further at the moment.
Answer this question. The best place to invest your money, your client's money, right now is where?
I mean, I think you stay to that more cyclical trade because the really safe things, or what people think were really safe, continue to be very expensive. So I think the industrials, even consumer discretionary, I don't think the U.S. consumer is dead. Clearly, it's what's keeping our economy going.
Well, listen, your Astros needed a little help last night, down 0-1. You and I both, I watched the whole game. And people say, why do you look like that this morning? It's because you're Astros. Bill Stone, thank you.
I went to bed.
Oh, you're smart. I'm not. Bill,
but I've got the orange tie, though.
Good call. I like it. Good luck tonight. Bill, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Call it a game of C-suite musical chairs. All right. Are you paying attention? Nike announcing its CEO is stepping down and will be replaced by the CEO of ServiceNow. Nike says that Mark Parker will officially exit in January, when John Donahoe will step into that role. Speaking exclusively with CNBC's Closing Bell yesterday, Parker elaborated more on the move.
We've spent a lot of time over many months working on succession planning. So this is not something that happens in a matter of weeks. So it's really unrelated to Oregon Project or any other issues. This is really about me and the board really wanting to make build on the momentum that we've got, add the horsepower, accelerate against our strategy, and do it while I'm here and really in a position to lean in and make this as successful as possible.
Donahoe will stay on as CEO of ServiceNow through his transition. He will keep his seat on the company's board until his term ends next June. Shares of ServiceNow, they fell as much as 15% in after-hours trading before coming back a bit, are now down about 9.5%. Now, the company announced that former SAP CEO Bill McDermott, well known to our audience, who announced his exit from that company 2 weeks ago, would become their new CEO. And if Donahoe looks familiar, by the way, it's because he's the former CEO of eBay. All right, another development this morning in WeWork. WeWork beginning a new chapter with a new owner and without its co-founder and its former CEO. Rahel Solomon joining us now with more on our daily WeWork update.
It's
Rahel.
starting to feel that way. Brian, good morning. So SoftBank has struck a deal to take control of WeWork, ending days of talk. So SoftBank will provide up to $5 billion in new funding and $3 billion in a new tender offer to shareholders, and also speed up the payments of an existing commitment of $1.5 billion in financing. SoftBank will now have about an 80% stake in WeWork. And as part of the deal, WeWork will name SoftBank COO Marcelo Claure executive chairman. Co-founder Adam Neumann, who was ousted as CEO last month, will become a board observer. And reports say that SoftBank will pay Neumann nearly $700 million to give up his board seat, although sources say most of that is through a loan to help Neumann repay a credit line from JP Morgan. Neumann also has the right to sell $970 million in shares. SoftBank and CEO Masayoshi Son are now doubling down on their investment in WeWork, which now tops more than $13 billion. In a statement, Masa Son says that WeWork's growth challenges are not unusual for a tech disruptor. He says that SoftBank believes the world is undergoing a massive transformation in the way people work. WeWork is at the forefront of this revolution. And Brian, SoftBank shares falling more than 2% today in Japan.
All right, I have a feeling more on that story to come as well. Rahel, thank you very much.
Sure.
All right. On deck, one of the world's leading investment managers from the annual Irosone Tel Aviv conference. You will hear his big idea first, right here on Worldwide Exchange. Then, wild moves and shares of Chipotle ahead of the opening bell. We'll tell you why. And later, the bear case for Caterpillar. Is an industrial recession ahead? A very busy hour still ahead when we come back.
I recently spoke to a group of students.
With the new Halifax Family Boost mortgage, children can get help to buy their first home, and mum and dad earn interest on their savings. Everyone's a winner. The new Halifax Family Boost mortgage. Halifax makes it happen.
Your home and savings could be at risk if mortgage repayments are not maintained. Only available in England and Wales. One applicant must hold a Halifax Reward or Ultimate Reward current account. Conditions and exclusions apply.
Carl's All Change Casserole. So, Chloe walks in from school. Tears all over her face.
Daddy,
She says,
I don't want to eat animals anymore.
I blooming love my meat. But not as much as I love my little girl. That's why we've made some changes to our old favourite, sausage casserole. Now with meat-free Cumberlands, but still with my magic touch. A dollop of mango chutney. Just as tasty as it used to be.
Better, actually.
Make your own with the new Tesco Plant Chef range. Food Love Stories. Brought to you by Tesco.
Oh my days, it's storming the charts at 169.
And last over the line, number 169. You're 169 in line to the throne.
The number 169 never screamed going places until now. Get the Toyota Igo X-Play for only £169 deposit, then £169 a month with 0% APR representative. Just go. Igo.
0% APR representative on new sales of Igo X-Play over 48 months. £169 per month. Customer deposit of £169 when proposed and approved via Access Toyota by 31st of October 2019. £3,487.50p optional final payment. Subject to status to over 18s. Indemnities may be required. Conditions apply. Toyota Financial Services.
It's going to be chilly today. And with the worst of winter yet to reach London, you don't want to come home to a broken boiler. We're with you. So that's why with British Gas Home Care, we've got your boiler covered 365 days a year. We have thousands of engineers on hand to help get your boiler up and running again, and all from just 46p a day. Buy selected home care products online by the 28th of October and get 1 month free. Search British Gas Home Care. Conditions apply. Prices vary by postcode.
All right, welcome back and good morning. It is 5:12. Still dark. That's because the sun's not coming up for another 2 hours. The Dow futures down exactly 2 points. All right, let's try to make you some money. The annual Irosone Investment Conference returning to Tel Aviv, Israel today. Some of the world's top investment managers are gathered there to hear their compatriots reveal their next big ideas, while also helping to raise money to treat and cure pediatric cancer and other childhood diseases. Joining us now from the conference is Aaron Stern. He is managing director and partner at Fir Tree Partners, and he joins us now live from Tel Aviv. Aaron, it's great to have you on. This is a big deal, raising a lot of money for charity, some good work. What is your best idea?
Thanks, Brian. Thanks for having me, and it really is an honor to be here and help raise money for such a great cause. My big idea this year is Alpha Bank in Greece. It's a $3 billion market cap company. It's a well-capitalized bank in what is now an oligopoly market in Greece, trading at 0.3 times book. Now, we think the shares could double over the next few years.
You know,
it's
interesting, Aaron. Aaron, hold on. It's interesting because the other day, at the end of the show, we did this RBI thing, and we pointed out the best performing stock market in the world this year is Greece. Is this a bet on the nation in general, or is this an individual story, Aaron?
It's an individual story, but it hinges a lot on the recovery of Greece as well. Really, the way I like to think about Alpha Bank is you have a bank that's trading at an extremely low valuation today, 0.3 times tangible book and 2 times pre-provision profits. And what you talked about, the macro in Greece being a headwind for the past 10 plus years, is now finally a tailwind. So Greece and Alpha Bank can benefit from Alpha Bank starting to shed a lot of their non-profitable NPEs off their bank and then re-rate to what is a normal valuation for a healthy bank.
What's the risk? Because as we know, Aaron, and I'm sure you know, Greece over the last 10 to 15 years has had its issues, and it tends to go from boom or bust rather quickly. What is your risk